For tuning back into another episode of the Game of Cryptos. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today's video, we're just going to go over Bitcoin, a couple of Bitcoin charts, and just overall the Bitcoin bull cycle, and just, how we see this playing out for the rest of this bull run. If you guys have seen me multiple times talk about this chart from bitbo.io. Anyone can go and access this. You go to the price prediction chart, and then you go and you click on the cycle low multiple, and you will see this really colorful chart from the previous bull runs. You have the green one, the orange line, and the blue line. The blue line was the first bull run. The orange line was the next one back in 2017, and then the green one is the one back in 2021, and then as you can see over here, the red line is this current bull run. What you notice from this chart is that we are basically back on track of moving the same way we moved in previous cycles. At one point, if you look right down here, the red line, when we got those Bitcoin ETFs announced, the market went absolutely crazy. We actually had put in a new all-time high before the halving, which never happens. It was like the first time, so the market was super bullish, super quick, and you can see that we actually we had a greater performance in this bull run than previous ones. So basically what happened was the market ended up resetting itself. The market, the Bitcoin, the chart was just like, you know what, we need to cool down a little bit. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, and we need to kind of get back on track to the regular projected outcome. And as you can see, this red line is really syncing up pretty well with the green and the orange line, again from the 2021 era and the 2024 bull run era. So if things are going to play out like they previously did in the other bull runs, then this means that yes, October, November, December, we should be seeing some really bullish price action. Again, nothing is ever promised, but history usually it can repeat and often rhyme. And if it does, then we should be preparing for price going up. And as we've talked about before, once the elections pass, once the build up to the elections, and if arguably Donald Trump wins, it's going to be extremely good for crypto, and we will see the market rally, and then eventually we will start to see that real banana zone where all the price action for a lot of your favorite cryptos are doing really well. If you guys remember earlier on this channel, this is the same chart. I screenshot it. This is from a while ago, so this line is actually, rated down here, so we're actually right here. But if you can see these visuals right here, you see, cryptos like Chainlink, Dogecoin, Uniswap, and then over here you see like the Decentraland Mana, Sandbox, Avalanche. What you are seeing here as a refresher, guys, is that when we had those two market peaks into the 2021 cycle around May of 2021, and then another one around November of 2021, a reminder for you guys with your altcoins, not every altcoin is going to peak out at the same time. Just because Bitcoin peaks out at a certain time, like you saw Bitcoin peak out last bull run in November of 2021, yes, there were other cryptos that topped out with it, like Cardano, like Polygon, like Ethereum, like Polkadot, Solana, the metaverse plays, and Avalanche. You did have other cryptos like Chainlink actually put in their all-time high earlier, like Uniswap put in their all-time high earlier. Dogecoin, arguably the biggest meme coin at that time during that bull run until Shiba Inu came and took some of that market liquidity, that peaked out earlier. And what's also important to note is when the market regained its confidence, when it, after the dip, and then it broke back in another all-time high months down the line, about like 5 or 6 months later, these other altcoins didn't put in another all-time high. So the best time to take those profits was actually from this chart around May of 2021. So that's just something to be very cautious of moving forward for the rest of this bull run. Really, it is really important to pay attention to the cryptos that are in your portfolio. And I will say this, like I've said many times, the time to sell is not when your favorite YouTuber is telling you to sell. The time to sell is not necessarily, if you're hearing your friends and your coworkers all talking about a coin and meme coin, you're probably getting closer to the top. But what I'm getting to, the time to sell your crypto is when you feel like you've made enough money. When you feel like that number that you see, that number, if you realize like, hey, if I sell this right now, if I take profit, that could change my life. I can go and buy a new car. I can go and put a down payment on a house. That's when it's the time to sell. So it's just very important to remember that not all altcoins are going to move at the same time. We've seen it that different cryptos even within the same niche can go up and down at different times. If you guys want proof of that, just like look what's going on right now with Kaspa and Sui. Kaspa had a lot of bullish price action months ago. It's been doing really well. It's still doing really well. But now it's kind of, leveling off in, not really much price action. But you have Sui going absolutely crazy. So even within the same narrative, you can see different price reaction going on. And of course, too, with different plays like AI, memes, gaming, they're gonna all ride at different times as well. So it can be kind of tricky because when you're going through the thick of it in the market, in the motions get the best of you, it can be very, very hard to kind of control those feelings. And yeah, as we can just go out and just look at, the market right now, obviously we've seen plays like where Sui's just been running up the charts. It's ranked around 19, at least crypto bubbles. Kaspa went down a little bit, down to 28. But hey, guys, that's okay. For those of you that are Kaspa older guys, if you, hold tight, that's the calm before the storm. It's before the banana zone. I know there's been a lot of emotion in the market. It seems like there's been a lot of division. It seems like between people that hold the Kaspa, people that hold Sui, and attacking each other. And guys, we don't need that. At the end of the day, the people that want to sell their Kaspa for other cryptos, let them be. I'm not someone that is an advocate for pumping chasing pumps. Like if you were in Sui, you should have gotten the Sui before it pumped. You don't want to be buying Sui at $2 right now. If anything, you want to wait for a retracement. And the same thing goes for, a lot of people were kind of selling Kaspa to get in the Bitten store. Like you don't want to chase pumps. You want the market to come to you. But anyways, this video, again, I wanted to get a little bit more on track just about Bitcoin around 62,000. So it is going to be interesting to see how the rest of this, bull run plays out. And obviously whatever happens with Bitcoin is what's going to dictate what happens to our favorite altcoins. Again, going back to the bitbo.io charts, if you go to the price prediction and you go to Bitcoin cycle repeat chart, from my understanding, what this chart is basically showing and or saying is if Bitcoin were basically to move in the same percentage of like gains that it did last bull run, and last bull run is actually over here to the left. You remember we had that double top or double peak. So what it's saying is, now what I want you to pay attention to this chart is not the dollar amount, because this model is potentially saying, Bitcoin could go to upwards of like 250 plus thousand. That's not the point of this visual. This point of this visual is, again, if you guys really want to go into detail, you can check this out. What I want to show you guys is this green line and just showing you how it plays out the double, not necessarily double top, but like a double peak, like one peak and then another peak that comes later and ends up being a little bigger. And this line that you see right here around the center it's essentially right where we're at right now. This dot line is where we're at, October 8th of 2024. This is what it's showing how it could play out based on last cycles, like exactly how, like if it mirrored last cycle's momentum, that October, November is like, it's going to be very, very bullish. We're going to enter a banana zone. And again, like I said in the beginning, if you look down at the very bottom of this chart, it says around April, late April, early May, like March or April could be that initial peak that we have. And then again, if it plays out, if the market extends later into the year like it has on the previous bull runs, it's saying that we could reach a market top at around October of 2025. Now, of course, guys, this is speculation. There's a lot of what ifs. Obviously anything can happen in the market, so take this with a grain of salt. But these are the types of things that you guys should be looking at and analyzing when it comes to the market, because this can give you better indication of, okay, when should I maybe get ready to start preparing to sell and take profit. And of course, right now, not financial advice, I don't think it's anywhere near the time to be selling, because again, I think this is before we start seeing really, really bullish price action, not only with Bitcoin, but with altcoins too, which is going to lead to our altcoin season, an altcoin rally. So again, guys, go on this site. I think it's really very, very insightful, bitbo.io. And then I think there's like these are all free, but I think you do have an option to buy like something where you're like a real member and you can have access to a whole bunch of other charts. I'm not sponsored by them at all. I just like to utilize this for, a lot of my research. Lastly, guys, before I end this video, I'm sure a lot of you have been hearing about this new HBO documentary. I believe it's supposedly going to talk about who they think is Satoshi Nakamoto, and I believe this is supposed to come out. The article says tomorrow night, so if you're watching this today on the 8th, or tomorrow on the 9th of October, this should be coming out. It's going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be called Electric, or Money Electric is the title of the documentary. And there's been a poll on the Poly markets about who will HBO documentary identify as Satoshi. It seems like the overwhelming majority vote thinks that it's going to be Len Sassaman. Then you have, that's about 52% of the vote. 10% Hal Finney, Adam Back around 7-8%, and then Nick Szabo around 6%. So again, it's going to be very, very interesting. I actually never heard of Len Sassaman before. Let me know in the comments if you have. Of course, I've heard of like Craig Wright, Hal Finney, and whatnot. But who knows? They might make a really interesting case on who is Satoshi Nakamoto. Of course, everyone says like, hey, if you're Satoshi Nakamoto, if you're really the person behind Bitcoin, just move some Bitcoin in that wallet. Move some Bitcoin in that wallet to prove that you are Satoshi Nakamoto. But I agree. If you look at a lot of people, just in the history of Bitcoin and the mystery of it and the creators, a lot of people will say that it's really good that we don't know who Bitcoin or who Satoshi is, because if there's a face to something, it gives it a possibility of attacking it more, where people can be more emotional about that investment. And I say this as like, it's just like, think about if you knew that the creator behind something was maybe someone that was like a terrible person, that would probably turn you off on wanting to, be a part of it and invest in it. So sometimes that mystery of not even knowing who it was or who they were is actually, I think, the thing that makes Bitcoin unique and one of the most beautiful things about crypto in general. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Just a video updating you about the market, Bitcoin, and this documentary coming out about Satoshi Nakamoto. It's going to be very interesting, and again, I think it's just a good way to get crypto out there because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be able to tune in and watch this. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comments. Just interested to know, who do you think is Satoshi Nakamoto? I've always made this joke kind of for fun that, what if it was like Elon Musk? He's just an innovator of his time. He's been a part of so many innovative companies and gotten companies better. Him taking over Tesla. He's got SpaceX. He's got the Boring Company, the Neuralink. It's like, and he's got the satellites. It seems like everything he does is like on the cutting edge of like humanity and doing what's best for humanity. So I've always joked about him, like, I bet it's Elon Musk. But yeah, guys, let me know, who do you think Satoshi Nakamoto is, and do you agree? Do you think that it's best that Satoshi Nakamoto's identity is never known? Until next time, guys, I will catch you guys. Have a good one.